Pyk. Mamy to, zrobimy udostępnienie. Mhm. Dajcie mi tylko znać, czy się pojawi. Tu mamy. O, jest Irek. Jarecki też się włączył. Super. Cześć, Jareczku, cześć. Dobra. Tu wyłączymy. Tutaj się też wyłączę. Chyba już jest. Wydaje mi się, że się pojawiło. Coś mi tam wskoczyło. Cześć Barnaba Siemanko. Ten się wyłączy. Dobra. Dobrze. Dobry wieczór wszystkim. Miło mi Was powitać na degustacji Savanna. No, długo wychodzone. Ja myślę, że próbowałem Samuela zaczepiać tak, znaczy próbowałem, robiłem to. Dobre 4-5 spotkań, aż w końcu, popatrzcie, co mamy wrzesień, a my tak naprawdę dopiero przyklapaliśmy to dzisiejsze spotkanie w maju bodajże, nie, w ubiegłym roku w październiku podczas Whisky Live, a w tym roku już ustaliliśmy już takie głębsze szczegóły, jeśli chodzi o line-up, formułę, czas, no wszystko po kolei. No, była to jedna z tych marek rumowych, z którymi bardzo, bardzo chciałem zrobić tasting, więc w końcu się udało. Więc tym bardziej cieszy mnie wasze liczne przybycie. Wasze liczne przybycie i tyle. No, nie będę jakoś szczególnie przyciągał. Dzisiaj mamy gości specjalnych w postaci Samuela, który zarządza sprzedażą, jest dyrektorem sprzedaży w firmie. I mamy Terego Gordyna, który jest master blenderem, twórcą marki Hair, czy rumu Savanna Hair między innymi. Więc tutaj, jeżeli będziecie mieli, mamy też Cecil, która spina to wszystko i tak naprawdę dzięki niej udało się to zorganizować, bo przypilnowała tego, tak? Thierry jest zajęty tworzeniem nowych kompozycji, nowych rumów. Samuel jeździ po całym świecie i robi mnóstwo masterclassów i pilnuje, żeby sprzedaż działała. I Cecil to wszystko spina, więc tak naprawdę dzięki niej miało to szansę się udać. I ona też będzie jakby pokazywała nam tą prezentację, którą przygotowali dla nas, więc to jest taka logistycznie, mam wrażenie, że u nich w pokoju są chyba 3 komputery i jeszcze gdzieś tam na ekranie, telewizora, więc mają centrum dowodzenia, tak? Wyjątkowo robiłem to, bo też nie było do końca to wiadome no, o wcześniejszej godzinie. Zwykle jest na 20, jak wiecie. Natomiast zaplanowałem to na 19, ponieważ nie mieliśmy pewności, gdzie oni będą. Czy będą w Reunion, czy będą w Europie. Tak? Okazało się, że są we Francji, a przynajmniej tak zrozumiałem, więc już jakby nie chcieliśmy mieszać i ta godzina została. No i tyle. Tak więc jeszcze raz, dobry wieczór i zacznijmy tą sesję. Oddaję lejce Samuelowi i tyle. Samuel, this is your turn. The power is yours. And we are waiting for everything you want to share with us about projects, about production processes, about history, everything. So let's start it.
Okay. Thank you, Christophe. I think we have something like 2 hours.
Yeah, if you and earlier, it's not a problem because we have planned something like after meeting. So just
Okay.
feel free.
So hi everybody. Thank you for joining this video cam. And we are here in Paris. So we live in Réunion Island, but you know that Whiskey Live is coming now. So we are now in Paris, and we have been taking profit about that presence here to get the right time to make something with Christophe and Rome Explorer. Christophe is behind us for maybe something like let's say several years, asking for making something with Savanna. And we know that he's really passionate and carrying behind him some so passionate people too. So we say, okay, we're going to make something. And it was a real opportunity for us to make it now in September in Paris, and to be at the same time that the rest of Europe, because we have 2 to 3 hours difference with the time in Réunion. So it's easier to make it when we are in Europe. I'm not lonely tonight in the room here in Paris. I am with Cécile, who is in charge of the marketing, and also in charge of making all the cuvée, the new cuvée, new single cask, and all limited edition project with me. And we are also, and it's the first time in video and for masterclass, with Thierry Grondin. And Thierry is our master blender, so you can see him with me on the photo here. But also Thierry is a guy that has been creating the Grand Arôme and also the highest earth from Savanna. So as it's written here, we will talk about molasses, because it's the main material used for making our rums. But we will also talk about highest earth, and Christophe asked for that, so it was the opportunity to have Thierry with us. And if you want to ask more details about all that, be free to ask your question, and we try to make our best to comment and to answer, even if it's in English and we are not really used to speak English, but we try to do our best. Okay. First thing, maybe it's to situate the Réunion Island. So it's not the red circle here on the map, but it's the little island south from Mauritius Island, and east from Madagascar. So Réunion, it's really in the heart of the Indian Ocean. It's about 200 kilometers southwest from Mauritius Island. If you want to know the real location, it's a very small island. You have something like 100 kilometers from north to south. And just see also on this slide, you see on the corner on the left, we have been indicating the name of some of the rums, so you can read Métis. And when you have that, I will tell you, but it's also the time to pour the Métis in your glass, and to activate the next I would say that the next tasting. So every time it's time to pour a new rum in your glass, maybe not to drink it, but to pour and to make some to give some air to the rum, you will have that little indication here. Okay. Everybody can hear well what we are saying? Yes, no problem. Okay. So do not hesitate to ask for questions, because if you let me talk, I will talk. But don't hesitate to ask a question. Maybe some of you has already come to Réunion. If it's not the case, I'm sure the day you can make that, you will really appreciate it, because Réunion, it's an island. Réunion, it's an island which is quite wide. It has that type of you can see that type of things, let's say. So it's really magical. You have all a part of the island which is really unmatched and really wide, in fact. So we are also using that type of image in our own marketing for Savanna. But most of all, our rums, let's say maybe sometimes as intense as the island is. And so it's what you can see in Réunion is not only a volcano, but we have an active volcano. It's spitting once a year, in fact, so it can be really nice. But you have a really natural environment here, and with a let's say grandiose display of truly spectacular landscape like this ones. It's also a place for natural ecosystems, and with a remarkable animal and plant biodiversity that are making this island quite unique, like a little paradise in the middle of the Indian Ocean. So you will be welcome if you come one day, not only for visiting the distillery, but also for appreciating all that type of things, in fact. And what we can say also about Réunion, it's talking about the population, because once again, it is quite unique. Réunion was in the heart of the Indian Ocean and was also at the crossing roads of the spice routes, let's say. So I would say that we have been at the crossroad of many civilizations crossing in the Indian Ocean for the spice and for many other things. So here the population is really a true melting pot, maybe more than everywhere else. So you have people coming of many origins, coming from India, coming from Indonesia, coming from Asia, Africa, Europe, Arabic countries, and so on. So these people has been met, in fact, during the years, and everybody is living really well with each other. We have no tension, in fact, between the communities, and you have all the communities here represented. Sorry. So it's a real fusion. It's more or less a bit like our ROMs, because we are working also on fusioning some type of ROMs, but it's like a fusion. And what you can see here on the right, it's the traditional, let's say the authentic wooden fire cuisine. So we make the best Creole food with that type of in that type of kitchen. Let's say this is a real kitchen. So it's also where you can make the best Creole food. You can see the sausages taking the smoke here, the natural smoke, and then you use that sausages for making the Creole food. And maybe we can talk about rum, maybe also. So you have been pouring the Métis. So the Métis, it's a traditional amber rum from Réunion. In fact, it's 100% molasses rum. It's our classical rum made from molasses with a short fermentation. But here we have been making a special work. We have been blending two types of aging. So one part of the rum has been aged in a big wood vats of something like 10,000 liters, maybe. And we have been blending that with the same type of rum, but aged in a ex-cognac cask for 4 years. So we have been blending that two types of aging, so two different, let's say, type of cask, and also two different time of aging, to have something that is quite fruity. You can feel the banana nose, which is really representative from the traditional rum from molasses of Savanna. And on the other hand, you have the first flavor coming from the wood. So the idea of this rum, it's a good rum for making cocktails. Also can be drink like that, of course. In Réunion, because it's hot, we are drinking it with tonic, so you can also make some long drinks with that. But the idea is to get something which is quite really fruity, and in the same time something which is a bit woody. what are the proportion between the big vat and the cognac barrels? I think it's around the 40%, 30 to 35% of rum aged in cask, and the difference, so 70% or 65 to 70% maybe in big vats. So this is. Can you feel the fruits, guys? Can you smell the little banana nose so precious in our rums? It's also rum easy to drink, in fact, huh? Really easy to drink, really easy to sip. Piotr, maybe?
Yeah, it's very easy, very nice, very light, a lot of bananas, and I feel the grapes also.
Mhm.
It's
And it's also quite fat because it's taking the glass, in fact. Huh? So this is also you have I can have all the rum staying in my on my glass.
yeah.
If you are starting with this level of quality, what will be the next ones? It will be like a wow. It will be one of the best meetings we have. And
Yo,
Vijay has a lot great meetings. So thank you very much.
it's a great remark, but in fact, we have been choosing not to go with the white version of this one because it's easier and better to sip it when it's a bit aged. But for making great aged rums, you need to make first great white rums. So this is not a white, but you can feel the fruit like in a white. And also it's a molasses rum, so you cannot expect to have all the sugarcane flavors, but maybe more some other type of hint. You have a small hint of vanilla here coming from the wood, but we don't want it to hide, in fact, the fruitiness, let's say, of this rum. This one is a good one to begin. In Réunion, we are using it, in Réunion, we are not making tiponche. We are making what we call there calou. And calou, it's, sorry, because we have a coffee machine that is stopping in the room. In fact, the calou in Réunion, it's made with amber molasses rum, sugar, and lemon. So it's like a tea punch, but made with a molasses rum, with a amber molasses rum. So this is the tradition in Réunion for drinking the unaged, the amber rums, in fact, not the unaged, the amber. Maybe some other remark or question, guys or ladies, sorry, because I saw that we have also some ladies, so we are really happy with that.
Yeah, Samuel, Pavel has a question. What are the proportions between the big vat and cognac barrels? 10%
That was
cognac.
long answered. That was answered a while ago. Thank
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, but Christophe was drinking, so he didn't get the. But now we have been seeing a second question, but it's no more on the screen, Christophe. So maybe you can go for the second question because it's no more on my screen. Or maybe I can get them. Up.
Yeah, should
Yes.
I read it or not?
Does that mean that amber rums are more popular than whites in Réunion? In fact, not. In Réunion, the white rums are the more popular. The main brand in Réunion is Charette, Rhum Charette, mostly drunk white. And also it's the one which is used. In fact, we use a lot of white rums in Réunion for making what we call here the rhum arrangé. So the fruit maceration, everybody is making that in big jars or in the bottles. You put directly the tropical fruit inside, some sugar, some vanilla, and you are waiting for some months, and you get a maceration of the fruits, and the people are drinking the white rum like this, in fact, after a fruit maceration. So if you go in the restaurant, for example, sometimes you have something like 40 jars behind the bar with different fruits, different rhum arrangé. Non, on l'avait répondu. Ça. À quel moment on verse l'autre? So here some figures just to go more deep in around the realms. So in fact, what you have to know is that rum has been discovered, in fact, after African slaves working on sugarcane plantation discovered that fermenting molasses produce an alcoholic beverage. In fact, that came like this. And so they have been experimented by the past with different fermentation and distillation method. In fact, it was quite raw, wide at that time to improve the taste and the quality. In fact, this is how rum was born. The first written reference to the process of making rum date back to the early years of the 17th century, so a long time ago in the colonial distillery, but on the Caribbean side, in fact. So that's why it happens. But at that time, so they have been discovered about the molasses, and now the molasses, it's what is the most used, the material the most used for making rum. So as you can see here on the screen, it's globally more or around 92% of the rum that are made from molasses worldwide, and 8% only made from juice. So it's rum is drunk by something like 17 liters per second worldwide, and it's more than 600,000 tons of rum that are consumed worldwide also by a year. So here the figures are coming from 2016. It's a bit old, but we are, let's say, in this area.
I just wonder, French territory is well known as agricole rum production. You also have on the Reunion sugarcane plantation. Why do you use the molasses, not the sugarcane?
I will come back to that later, but to answer you quick, in fact, it's because we have been keeping the production of sugar in Réunion at a huge state. So we have molasses to use here, and by the past, they have been decided that this island will be more for sugar making, and other island like Martinique maybe more for rum making. Also, you need less sugarcane to make an agricole rum than to make a molasses rum. In fact, Thierry, sugarcane you need how many tons to make? Yes, how many?
To make one liter of pure alcohol, you have to use 2 tons of sugar canes, about 2 tons of sugar canes. Enfin, 100 liter.
Yeah. For an hectoliter of pure alcohol, you need 2 tons of sugar cane.
2 tons of sugar cane to make 100 liters of pure alcohol of molasses rum. You need to about 12 or 13 tons of sugar cane.
So for making the molasses rum, you need 6 times the quantity of sugar cane than to make the agricole rums. But also you are producing sugar in the same time. So that's why. And that's why we are also keeping that. They also make a difference. But you know, I think I will come to that later. I will give you some indication, because what you also have to know is, as I indicated with the story of the rum, it came from molasses at the very beginning. So you can imagine the Caribbean, even in the French Caribbean, they have been producing molasses rum before producing agricole rums, in fact. But I will give you some figures later. So Non, sorry, il faut que toi tu avances. Excuse-moi. So you see the indication. You can pour le must in your glasses, the second rum, and we give you some. Oh, thank you. We also have the rum, so thank you, Cécile. So let's talk a bit about the molasses. So just to be sure that everybody knows what is molasses. So first, the molasses rum is also known as traditional rum, but it's coming from, in fact, a process that yields both sugar and spirits. So first, you squeeze the sugar cane to get a juice, and this juice is heated to extract the crystals of sugar. And then with heating the water remaining from this crystallization, in fact, the water evaporates and you get a solid residue, a brown syrup, in fact, through centrifugation. And this is this syrup still containing sugar, but not only sugar, also some flavor molecules. Yeah. This syrup is the molasses, in fact. So it's a dark syrup that retains at the same time high sugar content and also some primary aromas like licorice, etc., that we can find in the rum later. Maybe some of you have already tasted the molasses when we are making the same type of masterclass. We are trying to come with a molasses pot. We have it maybe here, but what is amazing is to smell the molasses, to understand that you can then find back that the same type of flavor in your rum. So one part of the flavors is coming from the raw material, the molasses. Second part of flavor will come from the fermentation. The third part of the flavor will come from the distillation, and the fourth part is coming from aging from the wood when you age rum. So if you see at molasses, if you have a look at molasses, in fact, it's still containing sugar. It's maybe something like 45% of sugar, water, of course, and also by 40% of what we call the non-sugar components. And these non-sugar components are the ones giving the rum some of the flavor. And the primary flavor like licorice, caramel, and maybe some spicy flavors and so on. So part of the flavors in the molasses rum are coming from this, but not only from this, but from this. And here you see the syrup on the left on the screen. This is molasses. It's really dark syrup that we use to fermentate. Maybe some question at this stage?
Do you use the first molassa or second molassa? So only first sugar crystallization, or you use the after second crystallization?
Thierry?
Well, we use the molasses obtained at the
Second stage?
the third stage.
Third
stage. Yes.
First or third?
Troisième.
Third.
The last stage of
The last one.
exhaustion of molasses, sugar exhaustion of molasses. So you have less sugar than the first step, but you have more aromatic compounds.
More non-sugar compounds. That's why we are using also that molasses, and also because the molasses you can have different molasses if you are by the way you are extracting the sugar. In fact, if you are going for a cold extraction or for heating or hot extraction, let's say, coming with by heating the sugar cane, which is a process we get our molasses. You don't have the same molasses at the end. So here, all our molasses are coming from the sugarcane factory of Bois Rouge. So sometimes you find that on our labels, on the limited edition, for example. There is 2 sugarcane factories in Réunion. They are not extracting the sugar the same way, and we are using only the molasses from Bois Rouge, and they are extracting the sugar with a heating process, in fact. That's why we are using that ones. And also what you have to know, we are making several type of rum. So we are valued the molasses different ways in Savanna. We are making the light rum. So I'm quite sure that you know the light rum like Bacardi, the rum with let's say with no taste or not really taste, in fact, really neutral with a high ABV. So when you distillate that, you have more or less no more flavor into the rum. So we are not bottling that once, but we are using them. We are selling them bulk to some industrial, but we have a real process to make that type of rums, and we can make several profile even with, let's say, no taste. But we have several profile. Each customer has his profile, so we are able to make and remake the same profile, even with molasses, which be less poor or more rich from one year to another. But our main production still are the traditional rum from molasses with 24 hours of fermentation. We are using the classic yeast, and we are using also the C20 column, what we call here the C20 column, so the main column of the distillery. And you see that with 4 kilos of molasses, you can get 1 liter of pure alcohol, in fact. And when we are distillating that type of rum, it was the case, the rum used for the Métis, for example, is distilled at 89 degree, the ABV. But also with the molasses, we are making high esters, and we are making the Grand Arôme. So Grand Arôme is let's say a French type of high ester. It's made only in 2 distilleries in the world. So one is Baie du Galion in Martinique, the other one is Savanna, and only Savanna is making aging this rum in tropically aging this rum in his distillery. So we have a special way to make the Grand Arôme, and it's around 7 days of fermentation. We are using specific yeast. So Thierry is the one managing this production. We are also adding the vinasse, and we are making the distillation in a column, but in a copper column, the whole Saval column from the distillery. And here you need 7 kilos of molasses, so quite the double, to make 1 pure liter of alcohol. The ABV is around 75% when we are distillating that type of rum. And we are making what we call the R. R is for high ester rum Réunion. So it's our high esters. So we have been distillating several profile, let's say, but I'm quite sure that some of you know the hair, and I know that Christophe is a big fan, a huge fan of our high esters. And this time you need something like 10 to 15 days of
Days of
fermentation, still specific yeast, also vinasses, but we are distillating in pot still. We also put, but I think you already know that, but we also have a little indication on the bottom of the slide. So to indicate that the process for making rum, we add the water to the molasses, and then we get what we call the mout, and then, sorry? Wort, okay. And to this we add the levure, the yeast, sorry, not the levure, the yeast. And and also then after the fermentation we go to the distillation. So we have several still. As you say, it's always nice to go to a pot still, but maybe you won't get exactly the same in a pot still. In a column you also can make great things in the column, but it's a different way to work, and of course you get different things. But it's not about, we will explain also that creating the aromas is not only a question of colon and pot still, but we will indicate by the end how you create the esters. So you will see that it's more a question of fermentation at the end than of distillation. Dis-moi.
La meilleure façon, en fait, pour récupérer la graine, c'est le pot still.
Okay, but the pot still, Thierry said that the pot still is one of the best way to collect a large range of aroma when making the distillation. So le must is what you have in your glass. This is of course a bit more complex than the previous one. It's still only molasses rum, but here Thierry has made a blending work by blending the traditional rum from molasses with a short fermentation and the special one from Savanna, the Grand Arôme. So here you have a blend of traditional from molasses and Grand Arôme of Savanna. So it's a bit, let's say, the DNA of Savanna, because it's molasses rum at what we are producing the most. And on the other side, you have the Grand Arôme, and which is a quite unique rum from Savanna. Most of all produced in Savanna only. So here you have a nose. It's quite woody, maybe a bit spicy. You can find the vanilla notes and also from the tropical fruit. Yes, sorry. Okay, it's maybe okay. And in the palate, it's still quite lively. You can get some intensity. You can still find the vanilla. It's a bit more mild, and it's combined with some let's say control woodiness. In fact, so it's not too woody. And by the finish, it's quite elegant and quite long. You can find the interest of the Grand Arôme when you drink it, because you have something like a little kick when you are drinking it. It's you get this type of intensity, a bit spicy, but at the end I think it's quite well balanced. Also, we are using cask from 4 years to 9 years for making that blend. I don't know in Poland or in Germany if some of them are in Germany, but in France, the price point of this bottle, which is already a good rum, it's something like 70 euro here in France. 70, maybe 75 sometimes, but 70 euro. Also, what I can say here, it's also something we are making batches, in fact. So when we are making some blend, like the 5 years old of Savanna, you are making the blend in a big tank, and then when the tank is half empty, we are pouring some other cask, and we stay with the same basis. Here we are making a blend, and that's why also you have a batch number on the bottle. You can see it in red. We are making a blend, and we are bottling all the batch, and then we are making a new blend that the next time with new cask. So we are not keeping a basis to try to get something exactly the same from one batch to another. So it's not a limited edition, but it's a bit like this. We are not saying it's a limited edition, but each time you will have a different batch code, a different batch number in red. It will be a totally different batch of this rum.
I have a question, a
Of
simple
course.
one. Do you age this rum in the French oak barrels?
Yes,
Yeah.
exclusively. Okay, it's only sorry, it's only in French oak barrels, and we are using. I think we have a very short stock of aged rum. It's a small cellar, Savanna. It's also why maybe sometimes it's not affordable, but it's we have something like 950 cask, and within the 950 cask, maybe we have 2 or 3 casks of American oak only. So we are using most of all the French oak and most of all the ex-cognac cask. So
Cognac.
here for Le Must, all the rums has been aged in ex-cognac cask. So French oak.
And do you use sometimes the fresh barrels, or always they are ex-cognac?
Sometimes we are using the fresh barrels or the brand new barrels, but we prefer to use very old barrels because, you know, we have a huge angel share is around 8% a year. And so with the tropical climate, the extraction is stronger with the wood. So we prefer to go to a wood that already gave tannins to other things and to cognac, for example, and to have the wood to integrate the wood quite progressively in the rum and to always get something that is well balanced. If you have the chance to drink a 20 years rum at Savanna, most of the time it will be still quite fruity, maybe not fruity like this one, but quite fresh, and you don't have too much wood inside. So it's what we are looking for, and we are trying to get this balance because we think first of all, the rum is a white spirit, a really fruity spirit, and we are trying to take that as long as possible when aging.
Thank you.
It's our philosophy, let's say. Because it's really easy to give wood very quick to a rum, but of course it's not the same result when we are making that in 15 years, 20 years, and that's why. So we are making some experiences, but most of the time we are going for something quite slow, let's say.
Thank you.
Here you have Le Must in the middle of what we call the permanent range of Savanna, just this to demonstrate that we are making, because we only have 6 bottles in the permanent range, and here the 5 on the left are the one with molasses rum. So we also have one with agricole rum, but these are the molasses rum from Savanna. And when I'm talking, I see that you can pour the origin 1970, so you are quite lucky because this one, it's a one that Christophe add to the lineup at the last second, let's say. So it's a really nice rum. I will talk about it later, but it's a really nice rum. So it's in a decanter, so it's a nice rum. So here you have the molasses rum from Savanna, the classical one. The Intense, it's a white rum for making cocktails. Longtemps 57.5, it's the Grand Arôme, the white Grand Arôme. Métis, we have been talking about it and drinking it. The Savanna 5 years old, it's 5 years old, aged in ex-cognac cask only, so it's 5 to 6 years old, to say the truth. And Savanna Le Must is the one we are drinking now. I don't know if you still have it in your glass, but I use a wine glass. I like a lot the wine glass for making the testings because the rum can take more the air, and it's opening now. It's opening now. It's really nice. It's changing with time. Huh? You have to take time with aged rum because if you are waiting for them, they will give you different things with the time coming in the testing. And here in the right, you have 2 type of esters from Savanna 2 limited edition in white. So the R that you know, and the Trade G, which is a white rum with the same process, made with the same process like the Grand Arôme, but it's lower in esters. And molasses rum, it's 99% of the rum produced on the island. So we are also producing agricole. Some other distilleries are doing so, but most of the rum here are molasses rum. and maybe what you can feel, and also what you will feel in the next testing, and what we are trying to give to our ROM. It's the integrity and the authenticity. Integrity, because we are never adding nothing to the ROM, so we are not adding I don't know, caramel. We are not adding sugar, glycerin, and so on. What you can add to get a different color, a beautiful color, or something more fat. We are not playing with that. So we want to go only with 100% natural things. So we are making rum like they have been done by the past. Also, Savanna is the only brand of Réunion Island which is never sold in the off-trade, in the supermarket, and so on. It's only sold even in Réunion, only in the cavist, and only in the Horeca used by the bartenders. So we are trying to make the spirits and rums the right way, like we are making the Armagnac and so on. So we have this tradition, and we are trying to connect and to stay connected with that. And the distillery, because I didn't talk about the origin of the distillery, but the distillery was born in 1970. In fact, on the west coast of the island, on the Savanna sugar cane, the sugar estate named Savanna. It was on the white coast of the island, at the foot of the hills, in fact, it has been in 1992. The distillery has been moved on the east coast because the sugarcane factory aside Savanna on the west coast has been closed. So it was quite complicated to get the molasses, because we have to go in tank with trucks and so on. It was really complicated. So the distillery has been moved to the east coast, in the area of the Bois Rouge sugarcane factory, just to have an easier access to the molasses. And now we are the only distillery facing the ocean. We are less than 100 meters from the Indian Ocean. So we are the only one in Réunion, and we are in the heart of the sugar production. And we are also open to the trade winds, because it's the east coast, so we get a lot of winds. So it's more the white coast. It's not the lagoon. It's not the palm trees on its side, because there is a lot of wind. It's more brown water and big waves and so on. It's really the really white part of the island. So, guys, if you have been pouring the Savanna Origin 1970, so I think it's a really nice idea from Christophe to add this one to the testing, because it's also this decanter is, let's say, quite expensive. It's something like 500 euro in France, and not easy to find. It's only 1,200 decanters produced, and you get each one is enumerated on the collar. In fact, you have a different number on each decanter. It's coming in a really heavy wooden gift box. Let's say it's something like 6 kilo. This object. And but what is more interesting, maybe it's the rum inside. It's a blend created by Thierry, which is also the master blender of the distillery. So Thierry has been choosing some really aged rums here. It's a rum from it's only rum with 2 figures of aging, so from 10 to 16 years old. It's a blend of traditional. It's a bit the same type of blend, which is interesting, is to compare it with the previous one with Le Mus, because we are also blending some traditional from molasses rum with some Grand Arôme rum. But the traditional from molasses here are from 10 to 16 years old, and the Grand Arôme were aged in Porto cask, and they are aged 15 to 16 years old, in fact, for this decanter. So it's of course more more mature, and also you can feel the roundness of this rum. It's really tasty rum, more intense than the previous one, also maybe, and of course more age. It's really nice. Maybe we can have your comments of the testing of this one, of the comparison with the previous one. I don't know if some of you want to try to make a comparison or to say which one is preferring and maybe why. Yeah, maybe you can feel the Grand Arôme, maybe you cannot feel it. You can feel the Porto, maybe not. I don't know. Up to you guys.
For me, this is more intense, a much older rum. I smokiness, a little bit tobacco or something like that. So much older, or mature rum than the previous one.
Yeah, of course. It's also the ABV is a bit more higher, but it's really easy to drink. And it's 50. The ABV is 50. In the previous one, Le Must, it's 45. But this one is also quite bold. It's I'm not smoking cigars, but I know that the guy who are smoking cigars like this one a lot because it's taking the mouth a bit, and it seems that it's good for drinking when smoking good tobacco. So maybe it is the case. I don't know.
It's a good pairing.
It's a good pairing, yeah. Maybe some other comments coming from you. Can you feel the Porto profile also? The Porto cask that has been used for the Grand Arôme with something a bit more sweet, a bit of rancio.
Some raisins for me and dried fruits. So that would be the scent of Porto, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was asking about these barrels earlier because two first rams reminded me the other French style rams, and I thought that all Savanna will be the let's say fresh and fruity. Let's call it in this way. But this one, this 1870, is I would say more elegant, more noble. It's a little bit, even more than a little bit different than first two of them. So as my colleague said, you started from the very good level, and now I'm looking forward what will be the next.
So, Chris, you are under pressure now because you made the lineup. So it's a good start, but you have to confirm that that you have been choosing well all the cuvées we're gonna taste tonight. So take your time, guys, with this rum. I don't know if you have you have been taking the precaution of several glasses, because of course it's quite nice to wait for the rums, even if the samples are not 10 centiliter samples, but it's always nice to wait a bit and to come back to that type of rum when it's wide open in your glass, yes, because you will feel the difference. You will feel more different things, but you will have to get a new glass, let's say, because I see the little sign with indicating that you are coming to the unshared cask Belgium. So you have to pour this one to let just some time of to let a chance to open, let's say, to let a chance to open to this rum. Just time for me to come back to the unicity of Savanna. I won't be too long on that because we have been already talking about that, but it's quite unique that a distillery is in the same time distillating molasses and agricole, and within the molasses, so wide spectrum of qualities of different qualities of rum. So we are making all that rum, and it takes time. So we are not making all of them every year, but we are trying to keep with that capacity. It's also what is quite interesting from Savanna, because this, when you add this to all the other combination we can get with the different stills, method of fermentation from cherry, and also different type of aging, and different type of not of wood, but type of barrels we are using. You have a really wide palette of rum, and everybody can find something that he like in the Savanna rums. So you have to go from one, even in the regular range, and not going from one to another in the limited edition to find your way, let's say. So I promised some things about the molasses and the agricole rum. So I put some figures here just to understand that in fact the rum was distilled from molasses at the very beginning. In the Martinique, from the 17th century to the mid of the 20th century, molasses rum were widely dominating the production, in fact. I put also a figure here in 1742. There were more than 400 sugar refineries in Martinique. So they were making sugar, and they were making alcohol rums with sugar. It's only lately in the 1960s in Martinique that the volume of agricole equaled the one of molasses rum. And if you go now, it's of course it's maybe less than 10% of the rum produced in Martinique that are coming from molasses. So they have decided to change their way of making rum by there, and also to find by this way their own unicity, let's say. But the history of rum is really, yes, deeply linked with the history of sugar, in fact. So as Christophe asked us not to let you thirsty, I think we can go to the next one. To the unshared Belgian. Yeah. Okay, so this one, it's very difficult because we are testing some great rums. It's very difficult to find the right, I would say the right order. Yeah, I will answer to Barnaba maybe after that. In fact, maybe this one has to be drunk before the decanter, or the decanter before this one, but we have been choosing like this because this one has a ABV a bit more higher. It's maybe a bit more, a bit less spicy because you don't have the Grand Arôme. It's only a traditional from molasses. The only thing here, it's that rum has been aged in ex-cognac cask, but also finished in an ex-Armagnac cask from Maison d'Arros. I don't know if you know Armagnac d'Arros, but we are working with that maison to get some cask. And it's really the classical rum from molasses from Savanna. Of course, it's a single cask. It has been chosen for its quality. It's quite concentrated, this rum, in terms of aroma, but also quite different than the previous one. You can see the color, which is really nice here. And you can appreciate the classical style, what we have maybe in the majority of our barrels. So this one need some aeration, some air, because I think it's straight from the cask, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's this one straight from the cask, but I don't have the bottle with me. I think so. So you see that Réunion is also quite wild underwater. Huh? It's what we have been representing here. So it's a wide part of Réunion, but under the sea, under the ocean. So it's an octopus. It's also things that we are eating in Réunion. So
Maybe octopus on the image.
you see that we can have something that is quite expressive, even with only a traditional rum from molasses. We have something it's quite aromatic, not the same way than the previous one, than in the blend. It's concentrated. You can find the licorice that you can find in the molasses also. I can find that in the nose at least. Even with a 60 degree, the ABV is really it's really easy to drink. It's well balanced, so it's easy to drink. The alcohol is quite well integrated here. If you make the aeration before, if you give some air, some time to the rum, it's coming. It's quite easy to drink. It's warming you up, but maybe some of you can comment this one or not.
A lot of aromas here, very complexive smell and taste. I feel a lot of walnuts. Maybe it's strong, but I feel the walnuts also in the smell and in the taste. It's very, very sweet for me. I know it's, there's no any sugar addition in this rum, but it's very sweet in the taste.
Would agree. It's sweet, but also very grapey for me.
Yeah.
I mean, which is obvious for cognac and Armagnac, but
probably from this.
It's really rich, in fact, and I think also the fact of using the Armagnac cask, I think it was a first fill, maybe a second fill. I don't remember, but maybe it was a first fill for this one. Give also that gourmandise. I don't have the English word for that, but it's quite gourmand. In fact, it's quite rich. I think because also in the Armagnac cask, the grain of the cask they are different than in the cognac cask. It's more small grains, so it doesn't give the same exchange with the rum than the cognac cask. In fact, the hock they are using is mostly the Cecil hock, and the Cecil hock is a hock with small grains. So this is really quite interesting for finishing or maybe for aging even a rum. If we are using the cask, maybe the big grains is nice to structure the spirit, but the small grains may be better to give some gourmandise to the rum. So that's why it's also quite interesting.
The wood is more porous and let some exchanges between the inside and the outside of the cask, and permits slow oxidation during aging and give this roundness and richness also.
I don't know if you get that, what explained Thierry. With these small grains, you have more exchange with the outside, so we can take profit at this best, let's say, of the tropical climate and of the humidity also outside the cask to get something a bit more bold, a bit more round, That's why we have been testing that cask only for that type of cask only for maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't remember when we have been getting the first ones, but each cask, each rum we have been aged in a ex-Armagnac cask of Darros was at the end really a nice one. I don't know if some of you are remembering the first one we have been releasing, where in the what was the name of this collection? Avec Métissage collection, the one with the lion, the name was Maputo. The name of the cask was Maputo. It was also straight from the cask and ex-Armagnac cask. It was really a really nice one, in fact, this one. So we can go on. I will try to answer. So you can pour the next one for the one that still have glass with them, empty glass with them, with Uncharted cask Germany, which is also a different story. This one. And the last question of Barnaba was, what is the link between Martinique rum tradition and Réunion? At the very beginning, it was quite the same thing. We were making all sugar and with molasses making rum. So a real link at the very beginning, and then two opposite ways of making the rum. One by choosing to stay in molasses, the other one's choosing to go on the agricole rums. Also, the casks are quite different. We are using a lot of French oak in Réunion, but in the opposite, in Martinique, they have been using the ex-Bourbon cask because it was less expensive, and also they can get them very easily from the States. So that's why they were, for long, they were using most of all only the... thank you for the photo in the chat. This is Maputo. Great rum. If you can drink this one also one day, pour it. It's really a nice rum, this one, really a great rum. So they were using the ex-Bourbon cask by facility, let's say. And now they are also understood that they can get maybe something quite different with the French oak. So you can see some distillery in Martinique coming to the French oak too at the moment. And also, there is still a link because we are all French, let's say. So with different Creole histories, but all French. So it's time to, because we have been drinking some blends like Le Must or Savanna Origine. No, the Savanna Origine 1970. So there is a tradition of blending at Savanna. What we call blending is also a art. So tonight we are with the artist. It's Thierry. No, I'm joking, but it's also like making, you know, making an artwork. In fact, when you are making a blend, you are using many things, and you are trying to play with that to get the result as nice as possible. So also you unleash the capacity of creating things by making blends. So making blends, it's really interesting in rums, and most of all when you have a large a wide palette of rum like we have in Savanna cellar. It's really interesting to play with that, and to really play, in fact, like a kid, let's say, to make different things. And also you can create more complexity with the blend. You are playing unique things, unique character. You are in fact, yes, you are playing. You are like an artist. And this is the artist. This is the artist. So Thierry is in fact the creator of the highest stairs of Savanna, of the hair of the Grand Tarom. Also, this is the head of research and development at Savanna Distillery. So the one you have to talk with if you want to enter into the details, to make things about the techniques, about the fermentation, about the molecules, the esters, and so on, is the one managing that for us. So feel free to ask question if you need. And Thierry, it's also here, and I say he's playing, in fact, with the rum Savanna, but it's true, and in fact, it's as passionate of rum as you guys, as I am, as Cecile is. In fact, it's really the link we have in the team here. It's maybe the stronger link is the passion, and also that passion push to be more and more creative. We try to be creative with the, let's say, with the labels, but with the rum, with the blend, with the distillation, with the way of fermenting things, always looking for new things. So we are taking profit of the know-how of Savanna, the 150 years of know-how of Savanna, but trying also to push the boundaries of that to create new things, in fact. It's really what is it's our actuality in the day-by-day job. And the last one you have poured in your glass, don't be afraid, because you really can find that into the ocean in Réunion Island. It's a fish. It's not a dangerous one, but it's still here. And we have been releasing that rum for the German market 1 or 2 years ago, I don't remember. Yes, last year, okay. And it was the single cask, the cask number 25. And this one is a type of blend we call TH1. So it's a blend of 2 types of molasses rum. One type is a classical rum of molasses, the one we are using for the 5 years old, for example. And the other type is the R, the highest R of Savanna. You see, even if it's only 6 years old, this one, you get something really nice to taste. It's quite intense. Of course, you have the print of the R. It's quite present here, and the blend has been done in the cask, so it's blended in the cask, and then it has been aging. It has been blended to age rum, maybe 4 years old or 5 years old, has been blended in the cask, and then we have let the age came 1 year more, and before bottling this rum. The German distributor has been asking for something with some esters. And what we liked, because you have people that like the high esters, but it's not always an easy thing. And we like a lot that type of blend at Savanna, because it makes the high ester accessible, in fact, because you have the print of the high esters. And personally, I think it's really well balanced when you can we can blend with the traditional rum of molasses. So it's not too much high esters inside. So maybe if you are the one looking only about high esters, you can have a bit of deception here. But what we like here, it's more the balance we can get between the 2 types of rum. It's also what Thierry tried to get by blending that rum in the barrel. Maybe we can have your feedback, guys, on this one, and maybe as we have been testing some age rum, really different type. Let's say the last 4 ones, maybe we can have people preferring maybe more this one or this one, and also have your feedback here.
So as you said, just like a few seconds ago, there is a small amount of people that like really high esters, like only esters are inside of this rum, and it's like booming with all of the intense aromas that are in there. And as you said, combining different rums into one that have both the best parts of those rums, and you have like this fully palette of different flavors, and this is like combining and making this rum complex. For me, it's like a meadow with a fresh flowers, with bees, with a spring, with a lot of aromas of fruits. So this is really great. And as I said at the start, this is like maybe I say something different, but this is like a concert when you are starting with like, you know, the songs we know, and then you're going to some really great hits, and we are having this great party. And thank you very much, because it's like a pleasure to be there. And if this is the number 5, so what it will be with her, because it will be like atomic bomb. So thank you very much. And guys, the mic is yours.
So really nice your comment, and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, first of all, for Thierry, who is making most of the blends, and thanks for the people working in the distillery, because we are here online with you today, but we are just highlighting the great work made by all that people. You know, it's a small distillery. We are producing, let's say, a lot, because we are exporting bulk, but it's only 30 people working at the distillery, and we are really proud, in fact, each time we go on the market, because we know that we are in our hands, let's say in our bottles, we have great things, and we are really happy and proud each time to share that with all the people, because as I tell you, we are as passionate as you are. We are not drinking only our rums. In fact, maybe mainly our rums, but not only our rums. We like rums, so we are really interested on what everything happening on the rum
You
planet.
don't like rums, you love rums.
We love
Maybe
rums.
sometimes even more than your wife.
We can say that because she's not online, but yeah. You know, you have to be careful with the Creole wives. And but no, to say the truth, we are really proud, and thank you so much for such a comment. And it's I say it's all we can it's the best things we can find when we are sharing runs with people. It's to make them happy, and really happy and truly happy with our runs. And we are really happy to make a lot of people let's say to get the happiness of a lot of people by making very different things, because this one, maybe the Enchantcast Germany, some of them don't like it a lot, but maybe you have been liking a lot, I don't know, the decanter and so on. So we can create happiness with that, not only love, but maybe happiness with Savanna rums. So I don't know what is coming next, but yes, we try to have something nice. I know what is coming next because it's on the left part of the screen. It's l'Absolu 2024. So it's the first time we are making a testing with this rum. Maybe you have been seeing the Absolu 1 or 2 days ago on the social network of Savanna, but it's still not sold. In fact, this rum, it will be launched after the Whiskey Live. It will be available for testing at our booth number 170 at the Whiskey Live, but you will be the first one to taste it tonight. So it's let's say a gift we are really happy to offer tonight to Christophe and his followers. In fact, to have the opportunity to taste this one before everybody else. So this one is also a one blended by Thierry. And maybe you give some aeration, because it's quite complex rum, and I think you have to take your time. And once again, it's a blend of aged rum, and aging is also quite crucial when you are trying to create the aromas of the rum, because what I explained at the very beginning, the first aromas are coming from the raw material. So let's say here the molasses. Then the second step, the second aroma coming from the fermentation. The third one coming from the distillation, and now the fourth one coming from the aging. So by the different type of wood, by the different climates, different size of the barrel, is it a former barrel? Is it a new barrel? also the toasting of the barrels, type of wood, etc., etc. You can create really different things. Also, what has been containing into the barrel, if you're not going for brand new ones, also plays a role. So with all that, you are creating different things. Here, also for the one who are who know Savanna, you maybe know this place in the slide. It's what we call the chai humide. So it's a really humid place, a really wet cellar. It's cell number 4 into the cellar. And it's a place, when you enter this place, it's a bit like entering like in a hammam, you know, it's really wet, really humid. Behind this wall, you have the ocean something like 80 meters far away from this wall. So this wall is 1 meter wide, but it's really wet. It's really salty with the, you know, with the wind coming with the ocean from the outside. So when you put your hand in this wall, it's really humid. When you are then putting your finger in your mouth, it's really salty. And this place is a really nicest place for making for aging a rum. It's not a big one, but we have some barrels here. So when you see a single cask coming from the chai humide, have a taste to it, and most of the time is quite wrong, because in this place you have the alcohol evaporating more than water, in fact, quicker than water. So this play a role to make rums more not bold, but smooth, let's say.
Smooth. Yes. Roundness.
With more roundness, yes. So I let you taste the l'Absolu. This is a new pack. We have been creating that collection last year. It was a totally different blend. I'm not coming to this one. It was also molasses rum. This blend here, it's a 100% molasses rum. In this collection, in fact, Thierry is creating to his own end. So we give no limit to him on choosing the barrel. So we have to say sometime we have to fight with him, because he's taking the barrel we have been selecting for releasing single cask. It was the case for this version, in fact. So we have to be careful with Thierry, because he's taking all the best barrel to make his blend. To make l'Absolu. The only things here, it's using very old rum, so most of the time up to 10 years old. And in this expression, Thierry wanted to stay on the molasses rum, but wanted to express one of our particularity, and this particularity is to use to have some ex muscatel cask in the cellar. So the idea was to get to get a bit of the expression of the muscatel here. So you have in this blend traditional rum from molasses aged in ex-muscatel cask, and you have also some traditional rum from molasses, but not the classical ones. The ones distilled with Saval, with the copper Saval column, that give a profile a bit more vegetal, and also that reveal a bit more the licorice. And it's blended with air. So like in the previous one in the Uncharted Cask Germany, it's blended with air. This time it was 8 years old, I think. 8 years old in ex-cognac cask. So let's say the average aging here is around 12 to 14 years old. It's a blend of 6 casks only. Not all of them were full, but 6 casks only. And the edition is something like 2,000 bottles. in this case, and it will be launched. Next weekend. The ABV, it's not straight from the cask. It's 78 here to get the right balance between all the elements. That's why we are pouring some water to get try to find the nicest ABV to get the balance. So you have a rum here quite complex with some spice. You also get the fruits from the hair, and you get the rumness and the côté and the gourmand side coming from the ex-muscatel cask. So once again, maybe it's more. It's maybe better if one of you take the lead to make his comments, or several of you take the lead to make the comments. Nobody?
Anyone?
It's very complex,
What do you say?
very interesting
right?
in the beginning. It shows a lot of condensed aroma of cognac, and it appears to be sweet in the middle, but in the end, it's not so sweet. And still, it's some smokiness. It's very interesting one.
That's true. The rumness is coming for sure from the
ex-Muscat cask. It's you have a great influence of this cask in this blend.
That was what we wanted to get, in fact, to stay, not to have only a blend of ex-muscatel cask. When we go for this, it's better to go for a single cask. It's a bit more precious, and you can select the cask. But here it's to stay with the influence of the muscatel cask, but to enhance it with something else, in fact, and to create a well-balanced rum. So it's not an everyday rum, or if you can, it's also it's good, but it's also a quite expensive bottle. Most of the time, that type of bottle, they are priced over 200 euros. But it's a rum when you have time, when you can take time to make the testing. It's a rum when you have good friends you want to share with, and also it's really a rum you need to. You will find a very, very different thing if you are making a testing on something like 30 minutes, 40 minutes with this rum, maybe with a bigger sample than the one you get, but you will really see many things appearing time after time by testing this one. So it's a really nice one. We know that it's very complex. We have been making the experience of testing in 1 hour time. So we are sure that if you make that, you will have a great experience. In fact, really great experience, because with the air, you have some air inside, and the air is the highest air. So you have quite volatile. I don't know if it's the English name, but volatile things. So this will you will have them at the beginning, then they will disappear, and it's the opportunity to other flavors to come to your nose, and also to come to your palate. That's why also it's a rum that is really nice to have in a 30 to 1 hour time.
You have several waves of flavors, fruitiness, nuts, smoky, little bit smoky, and roundness with the influence of ex-muscat. And it's an easy drink, easy to drink.
Yeah.
Rum.
Do you find it's easy to drink? Yeah. On va avancer après. Un peu.
This is too easy to drink.
This is too easy.
We are mostly speechless. This is why no one actually said something before. because like what else to say? It's like everything in this. It has everything. It is light, it is strong, it has tobacco, it has fruitiness. Like the name is saying, absolute or absolute or el absolute. So it has the whole palette of everything. It's like we are in the rum heaven, and we can have everything in like in one sample. We have quite everything.
Okay, so I think if you still have in your glass, maybe you can let it and come back to this one later. We can go on, and we will talk about maybe to give you some highlight of on the high esters of Savanna, because Savanna for years is pushing the boundaries of the traditional know-how with the high esters. You know that this rum has been used more than as enhancers for blending them in other rums than for being drunk by themselves. So that's why they have been creating at the very beginning. They have been put in more natural rum and mainly for cheap rum, let's say, that are sold in the European market, in the German market, for example, which are blend of light rum and of high esters. We can yes, we can check also maybe the difference here with sorry, my son is calling me, so okay, sorry. You can pour the R57 2023 if it's not done, because when you will do it, it will be very flavored in your rum, in your room. Sorry, but pour it, and I will give you the difference between Grand Arôme and high ester. So Grand Arôme are a type of high ester. Let's say it's a French high esters, and maybe more Savanna specific high esters. So as already explained, it's a long fermentation and distillation on a copper column. It's also something you have rules. So it has to be 800 grams of non-alcohol in per hectoliter of alcohol, and also 500 grams of esters, the concentration of esters. But in this one, the majority of the esters are acetate d'ethyl. So we will explain a bit more far away. And on the high esters, it's more the English tradition, the heavy rums. There is no official definition, in fact, for this rum in La Jamaïque, except that they have to be they cannot be, sorry, up to 1,600 grams of esters. It's the maximum that you can get in that rum. It's coming from a spontaneous fermentation. It's most of the time, and also in Savanna, distillated with pot stills or copper pot stills. So you know the main one, you already know the main one, Amden, Long Pond, and so on. Je sais pas s'il y a une urgence, mais
Just one. R57.
c'est pas une bonne nouvelle. Okay. So the R57 you have in your glass, sorry, it's the one you can see here on the left. It's not the previous batch you can see on the right, which was the first one distillated by Thierry in 2006. So the one that make the people know about the air of Savanna, maybe. I know at least the white one, or maybe also you have been already drinking the version of Habitation Vélier, the one you can see here also on the screen. It's the same than the one on the right, but it has been released with a different ABV, by Luca Gargano. And also you have here a drawing of the previous pot still of Savanna, because we have been changing the pot still last year. But the previous pot still was linked to the Saval column, like you can see on the label made by Luca here. So here you have more or less all the airs that has been released. Some of them are quite famous. The wine in the middle made the first one bottled was bottled for the 60 years of La Maison du Whisky. It was 10 years old. Then the second one was the one on the left, 11 years old, bottled for Shinanoya and Barlamp in Japan. And the third one was bottled by Vellier. It's the one here with the white gift box. And under this one, you have the last one we have been, or maybe not the last one, but the one we have been releasing last year in a collaboration with a big starred chef in Paris, a Japanese chef called Sato. It's the Edition Blanc. So this one is not the 206 distillation. It was a distillation made in 209, Thierry?
Yes.
209, but same type of rum. So maybe you have been already lucky to taste some of them. Tonight we only have the white, but the idea is maybe to have the profile we are able to make. And what I can announce, but we cannot taste tonight, is that we have been distillate a new one in last April. So this one is still in tank with a totally different profile than the previous one, with a new pot still we have been putting in place in the Savanna distillery. So we have no date for releasing this one. But maybe Chris, if you come and see us at the Whiskey Live, and if we don't drink all the small sample we have with us before, you will be one of the first one to taste it, or one of you guys if you are coming, but you have maybe to come and ask for that. Say yes, I want at the Visio, I want to test, but not sure it will be possible because we only have a small sample, and we are using it also for making all the bartenders here making some tasting with all the bartenders in Paris. But there is a new air coming, very short back.
In which place you are planning the session?
Sorry,
Where? In which place?
what, the testing session?
Yeah.
No, it's in some bar, but it's close to the public. In fact, it's only with bartenders of the Paris mixologist Little World, let's say. So we had one just before here, and I think we have one during this week. We have another one during this week also with other bartenders, in fact.
Okay.
But the good news is that we have a brand new air. The bad news, it's only 2,500 liters. So it won't be enough to make an aging and white version, maybe. So we have to choose. So we still don't know what we're going to do with that. It's quite different from the previous one. It will be more on the tropical fruits, closer maybe some of the Jamaicans, but with a different style. So Thierry has been playing with the new pot still. And even playing with his molasses and his bacteria and so on. So this is the result of all that, in fact. Next.
Nice.
So the one you are drinking now, and we put also the white because, as you understand, this white is quite flavorful. If you have this one first and then the aged one, it will cut you some of it won't be good for making the testing this way, because you have all the esters already in your mouth to taste the good aged one we have been testing before. That's why we are going with the white one just after that. So this one you are testing was a limited edition released last year. It was 11 days fermentation. It's quite high in congeners, but not so high in esters, it's only 600 grams. But the main thing here is that it's not, when you are talking about esters, what counts is not only the rate, but also the variety of esters you have inside the rums. Not only don't only follow the rate, the quantity of esters you have in a rum, because that I cannot say that means nothing, but it's not the whole thing. Also, and maybe you will understand that with the next slide. In fact, it's because what is an ester? Because we are all of us we are talking about esters, and in fact, esters, it's a, let's say, a chemical combination of two things, of alcohol molecules, and with the one on the top of the slide, and of acid, let's say, acid type molecule, the one on the left. So when you combine during a fermentation, when you combine the alcohol molecule you create with by fermenting the sugar, when you combine that with the acid molecules, you can create flavors like, it's not flavor of, but it's more flavor like what you can see here. It's not made by us, but it's nice to understand, in fact. So you can make flavors like pineapple, like pear, like banana, like glue, like you see on the top. Don't ask me why is Bacardi and Jack Daniels here, because I don't know, but it was maybe a game made by the people who have been creating that. But it's nice to understand that when you are going, for example, with ethyl and the second one on the alcohol, when you are making ester with the ethyl and the ethanoate, you are making a flavor of glue, or could be close to pineapple, of glue, of pear, of tropical fruits. And it's really what happens. In fact, it's the way also Thierry is working, in fact, because he knows what he can get by getting that type of acid with that type of molecule of alcohol. And I don't know if you have the little circle, only have I ester? Okay.
No.
Okay. So here it's in fact, we don't have the circle for the Grand Arôme, but the Grand Arôme will be the combination of ethyl and ethanoate, because ethanoate is also named acetate. So I told you that in the Grand Arôme, you have mainly acetate d'ethyl. So it's a combination of ethyl and acetate or ethanoate. So you will have this pineapple, you have this glue, and you have these olives. Maybe you feel the olives, but it's maybe more a combination of glue and pineapple. And when you are playing with the high esters, it's a wider range of flavor you can get, in fact, because you are playing with more acid or carboxylic acid molecules, and that enlarge, in fact, the scope of flavor or flavor like you can get. So if you're going for, I don't know, the nonanoate, which is in the bottom, and the ethyl, you will get something a bit more like grapes. And if you stay with butanoate and ethyl, you will get more something like pineapple. So that explains why in the high esters you can have so different flavor made by so different distilleries, playing with their own capacity to create the rums, and they create, in fact, different flavors by using a different type of acid, by using different dunders. We are adding the vinaces to create, in fact, to give more acidity to the fermentation. We are using the vinaces, but you know, in the Jamaica, they are using more the dunder, they are putting sometimes fruit inside and things like that. So they create a different acidity, so they can create different combination with the alcohol molecules. So at the end, they create different type of esters. That's why I was telling you that not only the quantity, the rate of ester counts, but also the variety of ester you can create. And when Thierry is working on the air from Savanna, he is making different type of flavor combining in only one rum at the end. And when he's making the Grand Arôme, it's a smaller range of flavor, more on the acetate d'éthyle, so on the glue, on the pineapple, and so on.
But it's not an artificial aroma.
Yes, it's not. We are adding nothing, so it's never an artificial aroma. It's only the natural.
It's only the work of fermentation, alcoholic fermentation and bacteria fermentation.
And as one of you said at the very beginning, it's also nice when you can work with a pot still, because when you are creating so wide range of things, it's easier to pick them, in fact, to select them with a pot still than with a column. Maybe some of you want to add some comments to this and talk about their own experience of ISTER, or have some questions, technical question, I don't know, to Thierry and to the team. I don't know if you were knowing about what were in reality the esters, but we have trying to explain that with our poor English, but
So maybe I will start. My colleagues prefer, as far as I know, the high esters very close to the, let's say, Jamaican style. So I really appreciate that you are a little bit away of this group of esters, because here I feel only the fruits, flowers. I'm not in the chemical store. I'm in the nature with your high esters.
you mean it's more fruity?
Yes, absolutely more fruity. Usually, I'm used to this style that we are laughing that we open the can with glue with the farba lakier, jak jest po angielsku.
Sorry, we didn't get the end.
I'm
Paint?
asking about English word.
You mean like some paint or?
Yeah. So I'm happy that I don't feel that the opened can with paint. I opened the fruit can, let's say.
Okay. Somebody else?
Yeah, as Derek said, if high ester can be smooth and delicate, this is this high ester. Delicate, smooth, fruity, full of flowers, high ester rum. I know this rum. I have a bottle here near the emptiness. For me, it's one of my 3-4 favorite white rums, unaged. I love it. For example, also neat to drink, and also in daiquiri, for example. It's wonderful, full of expression, full of fruitiness, and so high ester bit, but also some smoothness, sweetness. I love them.
In fact, the idea when Thierry is making ISTER, I think he's trying to not to make a rum that can be used for blending, but also a rum that can be drinkable, in fact.
Yeah.
It's what he's looking for. So I think so, no? Thierry?
Yes, it's the right way.
It's the right way.
Yes, yes. I try to do my best to make this kind of rum drinkable, because I think it's a huge rum in the universe of the rums, and he has his place in the also in the Jamaican highest place in the wide world rum.
We are trying to make things different, and because I think this remark you have been making here is really clever one, in fact, because the highest rum, they are not made to be drunk, in fact. And from the beginning, Thierry is trying to make things that can be drunk by itself. So we are trying to get all the richness ISTR can give in terms of flavors, but to make them affordable for being drunk like this. And we really think that it's a real category into the rum, the highesters, and we have to make them drinkable, because we have to allow the people to access to all that type of flavors, because they are really nice to meet once in a life. And it's what we are trying to make. The very last batch he has made is really different from the one you are drinking, and the one you are drinking is also really different than the one of the previous one, for example, in 206 and so on. But it will be different fruits, but it will be as drinkable as this one also. It has been distilled also this batch with a lower ABV, because the ABV of the distillation is close to 57 only. That means that all not poor in alcohol, let's say, in really rich in terms of flavors. Somebody else, maybe?
I'm not sure. Did you mention about that? Christina, which is in Rio, Samu Davido from Club from Latvia, asked about average angel share during the aging. I'm not sure. Did you mention that? Did you mention about that?
In fact, the angel share is around 8% in Savanna cellar. And to limitate it, we are making what we call the houillage. We are refilling when we can, because it's not always possible, but we are using, when we are putting the rum to age, we have, of course, we are not putting one cask, but we are putting, I don't know, 25 casks with the same rum, if we can. So each year we are trying to use one of the casks to filling the other one. The part that has been evaporating, we are trying to fulfill the other cask in order to limitate the evaporation. But even by doing so, by doing this operation called the houillage, we are getting around 8% of angel share, which is a lot, in fact. In fact, it's 8% of the stock disappearing every year. So if you are selling something, you can imagine 8% of your stock has disappeared year after year. It's every year it's the same story. So
it's correlated with tropical condition, tropical climate. Hygrometric and temperature conditions are very higher in tropical area. So it explains the 8% of angel shares.
Yeah, nice. Anyone else, guys?
We had a question on the chat. You know, about the know-how, about the traditional know-how. I'm not sure I'm understanding well the question and history behind that, or it's just was a cuisine tradition travel with French colonists. In fact, it's coming from the colony because, but not on this side. But it's as I explained at the very beginning, it's coming from the slaves that has discovered that with the molasses, they can get fermentation and get some alcoholic product. At this time, it was not rum; it was called tafia. And that came a bit like this. So yes, it's linked with the French colony, but maybe not with the French colonist. This is a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
We also had a message from Patrick. So Patrick has left the Visio to take his plane and to come and join us in Paris. So we are very happy with that.
Yeah, Patrick is an importer of Savanna rams for Poland. So yeah, he had to quit the session, but yeah, he was really happy to be here with us. So we still have I think two people from, for sure one of them, maybe two people from this company, this importer. So yeah, but in the same time we are recording our session, so Patrick can watch our movie
Who
tomorrow.
is the importer? Lasport?
Passport, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, we are very happy because in fact the good news is that we were working with them at the very beginning by using also the services of our Belgium importer, and in fact we are working directly with Lasport. It will allow Lasport to have a real partnership with Savanna for getting some of the bottles, for getting, for example, people of the team, because Noel, you mentioned that, is now in Poland for 2 or 3 days, making some activation or testing with the Lasport teams. So I think we're gonna create a strongest link now with the Poland market also and with the Poland people. So we are really happy if we can come now to Poland. It will be also maybe the case in the Czech Republic soon. So Savanna is interesting the people. So I think we will find the right partners to make the rum closer to you guys, because at this time it was more Germany, France, Belgium. So we are trying to get more to go more deeper now in on the east side of Europe.
Yeah.
And we are really happy with that, because you know that we have really passionate people and people that want to share things and share about rum in this part of Europe, especially in Poland.
Yeah. We have also a guest from Czech Republic. This is Philip, and he also asked in a chat, will be any possibility to visit Savannah next year? So first of all, Samuel, because
Of course, Philippe.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you can go, Philip, if you want.
No, just Philippe, you have to know when you visit Savannah, you have two ways to visit Savannah. First way is during the sugarcane harvest, because when you visit at this time, you also have the sugarcane factory, so you also can visit the sugarcane factory and you have all the process for making sugar. You also have all the ambient of that kind of factory, which is nice, all the flavors coming from the sugar production. So this time is from mid-July to mid-December. So we begin more or less the distillation and the fabrication of sugar in mid-July, and it's going to mid-December. So it's the opposite than the Antilia, because we are in the south part of South Hemisphere, in fact. And if you come from mid-December to mid-July, so January, February, March, and so on, you only visit the distillery, and most of the time we are not producing rum at this time. So you visit the facilities, but you don't have all the flavors and all the things around that. You won't see the sugarcane everywhere and so on. only in the fields, but not in the place. So you have to choose. And a nice time to come during the sugarcane harvest could be, for example, September. You have nice weather most of the time in September, and it's not many people, not many tourists. October, more people, and also a nice time to come in early December, for example. It's quite hot, quite tropical at this time.
Samuel, thank you for this information because I'm organizing RAM trips to other countries, and one of this trip, I think about Reunion Island. We also think about Mauritius, so it's quite close. So yeah. So thank you for this information because I think I know now what I will do probably next year in this month. So we'll be in touch about this trip. So I will ask you about many things for this trip. So yeah, we will talk in Paris also. So
Yeah,
yeah.
pleasure.
Okay, thank you guys. See you in Paris, and you'll be in touch, and let me add me to the list of the possibility guests. So we are interesting with my wife. So thank you.
Yeah, okay, yes, with
We'll be in
pleasure.
touch.
Come and see us.
Perfect. So guys, do you have any more question about anything to Terry or
I think this
Sam?
is not about the questions. I think this is like the best tasting we have this year, and we had a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and I really agree with that. So from me, some words. Samuel, Terry, I want to really thank you. Really thank you. You know that I really appreciate that for the master class, for your time to be here with us and sharing every information about this the distillery and some productions facts, and really also really big thanks for Cecile to make it real, to make it happen. Only we both know how many things we have to manage, and which Cecile had to manage about this session. So really, Cecile, I hope you will be in Paris. So I will hug you personally. And yeah, what else? Big thanks also for the last importer from Poland because of my totally last minute decision changes. So yeah, really, Patrick helped me with this origin Savanna, and it was really. I think it was one of the fastest sending bottle to me because I'm traveling a lot now. I'm doing many tasting sessions around the Poland and traveling to Prague, to Germany. So I really needed help from Patrick, from the importer, to help me with this bottle because you always don't know that this was last minute decision change. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm really also appreciate that. And yeah, and I agree with Przemek that this was one of the best so far tastings in this year. So yeah, so I'm really happy about that.
And not easy one to prepare.
Oh no, it was super nervous for me, really.
Even today, Christophe.
Yeah.
Because when we were making a test 1 hour before, nothing was working. But
Yeah.
it was on our side, but we had
Yeah,
some
but
trouble to
it was
connect.
fun and very nice. So really, we had the biggest problem so far with connection, with internet, with everything we had in the beginning of this year with MOBAF, with Republic of South Africa, straight from the distillery with Robert. So yeah, it was really hard to do that. But we are in civilization, so so it was much more easier to do that. But yeah, we had, of course, yeah, we had some troubles.
But I have to say, so first, big up to Cécile because this is true that she's behind all that. She has been discussing and managing things with you for long. She also has been managing the presentation you have seen today and all the information. So if you have nice things on your screen and not only in your glass, it's coming from Cécile. So it's yes, you can upload that. I'm really happy also to have Thierry. So you can speak with him a bit more for the one who are coming to the Whiskey Live. But Thierry also, it's really, I think, important for him to get the feedback of the consumers, let's say, of the drinkers, on the work he's doing, because it's not every day that he can get feedback on what he's doing. So it's really important. I know he's listening a lot to that in order to understand a bit better what the people are expecting for, and what the really great comments coming on the highest stairs also, meaning that he is on the right way, in the right philosophy, let's say, for that type of rum. So it's really nice. And also a real big up to Christophe, because as I told everybody at the very beginning, it is the truth that Christophe is asking me and asking for years. It's really the truth, asking for years. We have to make something. We have to make something. So every show, every rum fest, everything is coming, then sending message. It was never the right time. But except today, we are really happy to make it. So just Christophe, you understood that it was not that we didn't want, but it was quite difficult to organize. You have
I know.
you have a real prime minister planning, and we have something a bit the same here. And here it was really a real opportunity, and we have been really pleased also to present and to make some nice testing with really nice cuvée, and also to have this one, the Absolu, the next Absolu, to be able to share it with you and with your people before everybody. So it was also a real pleasure to make that, and we are really happy of that. Really happy also. I know there is not only Polish people, but we are really also that it happened in Poland. I know it's important for Christophe, so thanks a lot, and thanks for having so many people to join the meeting. I don't know if we had some other people on the live on Facebook, because we are not watching the Facebook, but I hope that even without the rum, the people take something of this exchange between all of us, and we are really happy for that. So you know that the next step is taking the plane and coming to Rain and to visit the distillery, as Philippe will do.
With pleasure, yes.
And
So
also to Poland.
maybe someday we will try to do that. Samuel is super busy guy, believe me. Yes, as he mentioned, that it wasn't not because he didn't want to do that, but he really traveled a lot. He has many things to do in her daily job. So really, we talked about it in Paris last year during Whiskey Live, and he told me everything about his everything. I think many things about his daily job. So. After that, I understood that okay, he's really busy guy. So that's why when Cecile called me that okay, Samuel can find a date, and exactly, especially the date. I told him, okay, let's do that. So yeah, I really am happy about that, and I really appreciate that we did it. Yeah.
It
So-
it was a real pleasure for us.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now
Thank
we
you,
are
all of you.
moving to the after meeting session with in Polish language. If you want, you can stay, but it is only in Polish language. We need to talk a little bit about the session, and I promise I'll come back with feedback to you and Terry about the session, everything.
Okay.
Really, Terry, you're a big and dangerous, really dangerous guy in the same time. Really, really.
I don't
Yeah.
know how to interpret. Thank you. It was a real pleasure for me to have your feedback and to enhance my English.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's really good. Really good. So one more time. Thank you very much. And we are moving to our Polish RAM. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Great day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Teraz tutaj.